Surprise, motherfucker!
Imagine a city where justice is a game of shadows, where lawmen and killers move in parallel lines. One of them is a detective with an unyielding sense of right and wrong. The other is a vigilante with a code that barely keeps him in check. But what happens when these two worlds collide? Welcome to the deadly rivalry of Dexter, where the conflict between Dexter Morgan and Sergeant James Doakes isn't just a battle between good and evil. It's a tense dance on the thin line separating justice from vengeance. From the moment they first appear on screen together, it's clear that Doakes and Dexter are destined to clash. Doakes, with his intense, no-nonsense attitude, is a man who sees through the facade of everyday politeness. And then there's Dexter, a forensic blood spatter analyst by day and a serial killer by night, hiding behind a mask of normalcy. The tension between these two is palpable, but their conflict goes much deeper than mere suspicion. It's a reflection of two competing visions of justice. Dexter's Code of Harry, taught to him by his adoptive father, is more than a set of rules. It's the blueprint that keeps his darker urges in check. The code allows Dexter to rationalize his need to kill by targeting those who have already escaped the law's reach. But as Dexter navigates Miami's seedy underbelly, it's Doakes who stands as a living embodiment of the law's rigidity. Doakes is driven by a belief that justice must be served within the system, no matter how flawed that system might be. He recognizes that Dexter operates outside these boundaries, and, to Doakes, that makes him dangerous. This is where their conflict starts. Dexter operates outside the rules, while Doakes embodies the rules themselves. And in this city of secrets, that makes them enemies. But the irony is, Doakes and Dexter aren't as different as they think. Both men are shaped by violence. Doakes through his military past and work in homicide. Dexter through his traumatic childhood and insatiable need to kill. In some ways, Doakes is what Dexter might have been if he had chosen a different path. A man with a rigid sense of duty, who channels his aggression into enforcing the law. In one tense scene, Doakes corners Dexter, accusing him of hiding something beneath his calm exterior. It's one of those rare moments where Dexter's mask almost slips. Doakes sees through Dexter in a way no one else does, and that makes their dynamic electric. It's not just a game of cat and mouse, it's two sides of the same coin coming face to face. Their confrontation raises a question that sits at the heart of the series. What is true justice? Doakes believes in the power of the law, but Dexter shows that the law has its limits. Throughout the series, Dexter targets killers who have slipped through the cracks, people the legal system couldn't touch. This is what makes Dexter's actions so compelling. He operates in that grey area, where right and wrong blur. Doakes, on the other hand, sees no grey. For him, the law is black and white. If you break it, you deserve to face the consequences. When he realizes what Dexter really is, he doesn't hesitate to confront him.
Jesus Christ, Morgan. Jesus Christ, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
I really hate that name.
Jesus Christ, man.
You said that.
I always knew there was something with you. But this shit?
What can I say? You were right about me. I never held it against you. I don't now.
Back the f off, Morgan.
I'm just following your lead.
Slow down.
Even though he knows they were put him at the odds with the entire system he's sworn to protect. And in that sense, Doakes becomes almost heroic. He's a man willing to go down fighting for his principles, even when he's outnumbered and outmatched. Yet the tragedy of Doakes is that his uncompromising nature is what leads to his downfall. Dexter frames him as the Bay Harbor Butcher, using the system's flaws against Doakes to divert suspicion from himself. It's a twist that's as heartbreaking as it is brutal. Doakes, the one man who saw Dexter for what he truly was, ends up paying the ultimate price for standing up to him. But there's an irony here that can't be ignored. In the end, it's Dexter's manipulation of the law that wins. He exploits the very system that Doakes tries to uphold, bending it to his own purposes. And yet, Dexter himself is haunted by Doakes' death, a reminder that perhaps even he knows that his form of justice comes with a steep price. The battle between Dexter Morgan and James Doakes is a cornerstone of Dexter's early seasons. But it's more than just a thrilling cat-and-mouse game. It's a deeper examination of what it means to deliver justice in a world where moral lines are constantly shifting. Doakes represents a system with all its flaws, but also its ideals. Dexter represents something more primal, justice by any means necessary. In the end, both men believe they are doing what is right. But in the city of Miami, where shadows stretch long and the darkness never fully recedes, it's their inability to coexist that seals both of their fates. And as viewers, We're left to wonder, is one truly better than the other? Or are they simply two sides of a broken system? Thank you for exploring the complex rivalry between Dexter and Doakes with us. If you found this analysis intriguing, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the characters that make our favourite shows unforgettable. After all, in a world full of shadows, sometimes it takes a closer look to see who's really wearing the mask.